Hello, and welcome to show number 2547 of Eyes on Success, a weekly program empowering the visually impaired with expert advice, personal stories, and the latest in technology and accessibility. I'm Nancy Goodman Torpey.
And I'm Pete Torpey.
I feel like the community is the reason why Innosearch has been so successful thus far. Just really, the community has been so instrumental, right? Because without them, we just wouldn't know, right, what to focus on and what's important.
And Innosearch has been so committed to accessibility for the community that they serve.
Innosearch AI is quickly expanding its suite of accessible services for blind users. We'll talk with co-founder and CEO Patrick Long about new tools like voice-based shopping, travel booking, the CoBrowse AI agent, and Accessible Storefronts, all part of a fast-moving effort to make online platforms easier to use for everyone, including people with vision loss. But first, for our tip of the week. This week's tip comes from Patrick Long.
When writing prompts using things like ChatGPT, it's very important to include in your prompt the context, the proper context, the goal, and like a clear format you would like your information out of, right? So suppose you're trying to write a prompt for some social media posts, right? You might want to say you're a marketing strategist or a marketing professional. Can you help me create a 150 character pitch talking about Eyes on Success, introducing Innosearch to other nonprofits, right? So that type of detail is really important so AI can create a response that you like.
Support for Eyes on Success is provided by
the Forsyth Entrepreneurial Center at the Chicago Lighthouse, whose 2025 Business Enterprise Competition will provide one blind entrepreneur with up to $25,000 in seed money and a plan to turn their business idea into reality. For more information, visit www.chicagolighthouseorg/FEC.
And by
Aira. Whether you are shopping at Walmart or traveling through an Access Network airport, professional visual interpreters are here for you. More information is at www.aira.io, because access is a human right.
You are listening to Eyes on Success. Success, 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 success.
Let's start by meeting Patrick and also getting a brief introduction to Innosearch AI.
Today's guest has been on Eyes on Success several times before, but his company is making such fast progress and improving things and making things even more accessible. So it's time to talk to them again about all the things that are new. So Patrick, remind listeners who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on Eyes on Success. It's a real honor to be here and really appreciate Pete and Nancy for the opportunity to speak with your audience. Yes, my name is Patrick Long, and I am one of the co-founders of Innosearch AI, along with my partner Brian Vuong. We started Innosearch to help solve important problems that people with blindness and low vision face, especially when accessing essential digital services online. So we built a platform we call Innosearch that allows people to find items from over 500,000 retailers, over 1 billion products in our store. So you can buy anything from e-commerce websites, now book travel, and also order groceries and food delivery in all 50 states. So it's very accessible, super easy to use, built specifically for those with blindness and low vision.
And we'll be talking more later about some of what you just mentioned, as well as other additional features of Innosearch.
Yes, absolutely.
Eyes on Success connects corporate sponsors with visually impaired listeners around the world.
More information about becoming a sponsor can be found at www.sponsor.eyesonsuccess.net.
This week's focus topic is some of the new accessible services provided by Innosearch AI.
Well, Patrick, let's just hop right into it. I must say, we talked to you the first time about a year ago, not too long after you started Innosearch and it started gaining some popularity. And there's so much that's changed in the past year that I figured we'd have to get into some of those things. And maybe we could start out by talking about the voice interface where people can call up via telephone.
Yeah, we've made a lot of innovations over the past year, primarily thanks so much to the community. They've been giving us tons of feedback, telling us various improvements, telling us things they wish they had that they couldn't experience anywhere else. So one of the call-outs was having a phone line. Basically, some folks are just not tech savvy and they much prefer, a phone rather than going to an internet browser. So we created a phone line. It's completely powered by AI. So you will speak to an AI autonomous agent, and it speaks just like a human. It has a human voice. It works 24/7, 7 days a week, right? It doesn't take any holidays off. And you can dial 1-855-SHOP-GPT, and that corresponds to the numbers 1-855-746-7478. And it's experience as if you were talking to, your local shopkeeper or merchant, right? You can simply describe what you want. The AI has access to Innosearch's entire catalog, right? And through a simple conversation, it can narrow down, maybe top 5 options, and you can complete the whole shopping experience from product discovery to adding the product to your cart. And finally, once you're ready, you can complete the payment and tell them your shipping information. So everything can be done 100% via the phone line. And it's actually one of Innosearch's more popular features. In fact, about, I would say, a fourth of the orders today go through the phone line. So we know there's a lot of people enjoying this.
So it will actually query of the customer what's most important to you. Do you want the lowest price? Do you want the best robustness? Do you want specific features? And it'll extract all of those requirements from you and then help you find the object that best meets those requirements?
Yeah, that's right. It's just as if you were talking to somebody at a store, right? They would help narrow down the item that you're looking for, right? For example, let's say we search for, a water bottle, right? It could ask you what's the capacity you'd like? Do you need it to retain heat or cold? What's your price range? And then it can start presenting you with a few options. And through the conversation, the AI can also handle all the logistics like shipping and payments as well.
And I guess that was a good launching pad or test platform for what you're now doing on the web with your CoBrowse AI agent that we talked about on the show several weeks ago. So now you can interact in a similar fashion directly with the website if you don't want to use your phone, right? Tell us a little bit about CoBrowse.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these products are inspirations for one another. As we build one thing, we get feedback and support from the community, and we realize there's more that we can do in other areas of our products. So we had launched actually 1-855 Shop GPT, got tons of wonderful feedback and comments related to that. And we realized, there actually are some users that use our main website and there are certain things they can't find, right? But maybe it's hidden, maybe the links are not as clear, or maybe there's some certain screen reader commands that are hard to access. And so that actually was the inspiration behind CoBrowse, right? To be able to issue voice commands, right? Because if your screen reader fails you or it's hard to use, hard to navigate, you can always rely on your voice. And the idea was to upgrade the current chatbot and to add a voice command component. So not only now can you type to CoBrowse, you can also use your voice. So in the event you can't find something or you would like to use your voice to navigate the page, you can literally just tell it, right? And CoBrowse has the intelligence to find the right links to click, to enter the right queries, fill out the right search bar, right? So you can get to the destination that you're looking for.
And we've recently introduced CoBrowse onto the Eyes on Success website. So you can use that to search for shows of interest, to get summaries of shows, to play the episodes, download the episodes, etc. So we're looking forward to see what our listeners think of that and what kind of feedback we get.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting development because it really improves on the usability of websites, right? Because it not only adds some intelligence from the AI, but it adds a new modality for people to interact with the web, right? Typically, it's only mouse and keyboard. Now you can also use your voice and your microphone, which leads to a lot of interesting interactions, I think. So very excited for that and really appreciate Pete and Nancy for being our guinea pigs to try this out. So thank you so much.
So this is great. In addition to talking to your smart speakers and your light switches, you can also talk to the internet now.
Yep, exactly. I think it'll be very interesting. We're one of the first ones. I haven't seen any company try this yet. So we're very excited to be experimenting and would love to get the community's feedback. So if there's something you like, would love to hear it. If it's something you don't like and think there's something that we can improve on, would also like to hear that as well. Or if you think of something creative that we haven't thought of yet that would really improve usability, please do reach out. We'd love to hear from everybody.
And we'll certainly forward you any user feedback that we get. Anyway, when we talked to you about a year ago, you were kind of just getting started, and I think you had just implemented some flight reservation systems on your site. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's expanded a lot in the past year.
Yeah, flights is actually one of more popular services Innosearch offers. As you guys probably have experienced and know, a lot of flight airlines websites are not very accessible and very challenging to navigate using a screen reader. So what we've done is we've aggregated all domestic and international airline carriers and made it very easily searchable. So you just need to input a few important query informations like where you're flying from, where you're flying to, and the dates. And very quickly we will search all possible matching flights and present you a number of options. We make it very easy to book. You never actually have to go to each flight carrier's website. I know how challenging it is sometimes to book on places like Spirit, right? There's a lot of pop-ups and things that throw things off. But for our experience, you never have to go to any third-party site. Just book it all on Innosearch. If you need guide dog support, right? You need guide dog information for the airline carrier. We can also take care of that. If you need special assistance, you can also request that on Innosearch. So all that information, we make sure we get out to the right people, to the right airlines and airport. So when you're there, you're well taken care of. So it's end-to-end experience, right? Everything made easy and accessible.
So, in addition to an easy to use, accessible interface, you've actually included, as you said, all the commercial airlines. Whereas if you use one of the more commercial aggregators like Orbitz or Expedia or Travelocity, they don't include all of the airlines. You won't find Spirit or Frontier or JetBlue or Southwest. They just give you the big ones.
Yeah, our service aggregates from all, so you get a very comprehensive picture of what options are available to you, and so you can pick the best ones that fit you, right? So not only are you getting the best possible carrier that you like, best possible times, but also all of that in an accessible and usable format. So it's really actually been a big hit. A lot of blind and low vision people have used this service to book flights to conferences, for example. So it's been really great. Yeah.
So we just reviewed some major enhancements you made to the platform in the past year, but that's not all. I understand you're also getting into the food delivery business.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are working with Grubhub. They're our food delivery partner to enable in all 50 states food and grocery delivery within about an hour or so. So you can find items from your favorite local store. And yeah, you can just add them to cart, obviously in our great accessible interface, browse the entire menu of items, and just get exactly what you need. So yeah, that's something that we recently added, and I've already been sending coffees to people, so happy to do that.
That's pretty cool. That's a nice service to be able to do that in an accessible manner.
Yeah, absolutely. And just also want to mention, if it wasn't clear already, all our services are completely free. So Innosearch has no subscription fee to it. There's no monthly charge. You actually don't even need to have an account to use Innosearch. Although an account would give you 1% cash back on all your purchases and also allow you to participate in our affiliate program, which you can share a link to your friends and give them $10 and also earn $10 after they completed their first purchase. But account is not necessary. Anybody can use it, and it's completely free of charge.
And you also have a very good return policy and service, just like Amazon and other large distributors like that, I understand.
Yeah, it's free returns on Innosearch, and most importantly, we help coordinate the returns. So sometimes there's some retailers that are very challenging for you to get a hold of, right? Their emails are buried or they just don't respond when you call them. So our customer service team is contacting retailers on behalf of our users, and we share with you whatever return information that's needed, including the printing labels and everything, so you can very easily make your return should you need to.
And I see that you also do a good job of reaching out to organizations and people in the blindness community, because I see Innosearch more and more in some of the podcasts I listen to, some of the forums that I subscribe to. And you seem to be becoming very well known in the blindness community.
Yeah, so we've been pretty active. I think back in April, we partnered up with Be My Eyes and also partnered up with the National Federation of the Blind on the national level. And also now we're starting to attend a lot of affiliate chapter conventions. So recently I was in Florida meeting with the NFB there, right? So we've been becoming more and more active, going to more and more events because, yeah, a lot of folks have started to enjoy the product and just invited us to share with their community. So that's something we're very happy to do and really want to work with local affiliates, right, to not only spread the word, but also deepen the relationship, right? We just really want to support the organizations the best way we can. And there's many ways to do so. recently we launched an affiliate partner program. So if we support one another and refer business, you can earn a little bit of the revenue recurring in the form of a donation. So the nonprofit can continue to do a lot of the great work they're already doing. So that's something very exciting, and a lot of affiliates have been keen on participating.
And you also foster community in other ways. You actually have some events that you sponsor on a regular basis for users of your service to get together over the internet, right?
Oh, yes, we very regularly, although right now it's on hiatus, but we plan to bring it back soon as we have accessible game nights. So we very vigorously and test the accessibility of these options. And basically, we do things like trivia via Zoom. There's great Innosearch gift card prizes that can be won. Recently, we were doing some audio-based escape rooms. So we play these clues that are very, descriptive and vocal and energetic, and there's all sorts of sound effects. The community loves that, and they have to escape like a cursed library, or it's really something our team really enjoys putting on. We get a couple of our customer service team to put it together and put them in teams, and the team that basically finishes the audio escape room the fastest would earn some search credit. And it's not a huge amount. It's something like $10 or $20 per person, but it is exciting, and a lot of folks really love it. And best of all, it's free to play as well. And it's just a cool place to meet some members and also interact with the team.
Well, it is a great way of building community and trust in what you do, and also getting feedback from your users, which is what is one of the things that makes your service so successful. You really are responsive to that kind of feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I've always been saying, I feel like the community is the reason why Search has been so successful thus far. Just really, the community has been so instrumental, right? Because without them, we just wouldn't know, right, what to focus on and what's important. And so we really encourage folks to be involved and folks to share what works and what doesn't. And we, are all ears on trying to fix it as soon as possible.
You guys have been incredibly busy. How big is your team now?
Yeah, so we are a global team. We have folks, obviously, in the U.S. here. Brian, myself, are based in the San Francisco Bay Area, but we have team members in the UK, and Vietnam, in India, and also in the Philippines. So we are about 15 or so now, but we're growing. We're always adding more customer service and also sales members to our team, also assistive technology testers. So yeah, it's been a fun ride, definitely.
I understand you also have another service that you're starting called Accessible Storefronts. Can you tell people what that effort is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started Innosearch, right, we always wanted to have the most comprehensive catalog out there, right? We wanted to cover as many retailers and deliver an accessible, usable shopping experience, right? But at times, we need first-party data and we need to work with the business directly. It's just not possible to get everything using, the technology that we have currently, right? Which is APIs and scrapers out there. So, recently, as Innosearch has become more and more popular, a lot of businesses have noticed that they aren't there and would love to be a part of us. So we're now launching a new product called the Accessible Storefront. And basically now we welcome any business that really wants to have that usable, accessible shopping experience for the blind and low vision to come and list their products on Innosearch, right? You get access to lots of blind and low vision shoppers. In addition, you can make your shopping experience just so much more usable, because every shop that's on the Accessible Storefront has all of Innosearch's technologies that we've been developing for close to 2 years now. So all the great screen reader friendly interfaces, CoBrowse AI, the voice AI browsing, all of that is with the Accessible Storefront.
Well, great job, Patrick. You guys have done a great job, and I look forward to your continued success and growth in the future.
Sounds great. Yeah. Thanks so much again, Pete and Nancy, for the support over the years. And we will continue to work diligently to delight our customers.
You are listening to Eyes on Success. Success, 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 success.
Now for this week's final item, how to learn more about Innosearch AI and their ever-growing number of services and how to contact them.
Well, Patrick, we talked a lot about Innosearch. How do people find Innosearch and some of the products that you offer?
Yeah, so you can learn more about Innosearch at Innosearch, INNO, search, SEARCH.ai. That's where you can find the shopping, the flights, food and grocery delivery, accessible storefront that I talked about, also information about CoBrowse. You can also dial 1-855-SHOP-GPT, and that corresponds to the numbers 1-855-746-7478 for our Shop by Phone experience. We're also available in the UK, Australia, and Canada, so all our services can also be accessed there as well. You can also email us if you have any questions, feedback, just want to chat and share product insights. You can contact us at support, SUPPORT, at Innosearch.ai. Our team is 24/7 and can assist you anytime.
And of course, they are all over social media as Innosearch AI, all one word, on Facebook and Instagram and X and LinkedIn.
If you missed any of that information in the audio, you can find it in the show notes for this episode, which is episode 2547. Also, after we recorded this episode, in their continued effort to make shopping even more accessible, Innosearch now has an app that you can use for shopping.
That's it for today's show. Next week on Eyes on Success, we'll be talking about redefining the modern Braille note taker. Blazy Technologies is reimagining classic note takers for today's blind users. We'll talk with CEO Brian Blazy. Yes, he is Dean Blazy's son, and marketing director David Goldfield about the BT Speak and BT Braille devices. These Raspberry Pi powered tools blend assistive tech, modern design, and thoughtful engineering to better serve the community.
Thanks for joining us this week, and we hope you'll join us again for next week's episode.
You've been listening to Eyes on Success, hosted and produced by Nancy Goodman Torpey and Peter Torpey.
You can access the full archive of previous shows, subscribe to the podcast, and much more by going to our website, www.eyesonsuccess.net. If you have questions about anything you've heard on the show or have suggestions for future shows, send an email to hosts@eyesonsuccess.net.
Thank you for listening and have a nice day.